hexed and turned into a wolf basically against their will, or a werewolf or something
Hmm.
like that. So there's that aspect of it. But then the funny part is where it's over here in the US, and this is where the Dogman thing has become so big, and especially up there in Maryland, where we all know that big story that came out from up there with the ranch, with the wolf pack,
Hmm.
which became so famous. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff whenever you get into the Dewayo. There's kind of a linkage going on there.
Well, what I find really interesting about it, though, is it goes back to almost the medieval mythology and the way that they viewed werewolves. So, to current civilization, current people, werewolves are a thing of evil. We associate them with the howling American Werewolf in London. But in medieval tales, though, werewolves were actually viewed as lucky and positive beings. So, they would show them riding horses, saving maidens in distress. They'd be fighting along the human knights. So the fact that it faces a snallygaster, which is seen as an evil entity, it ties back to the medieval mythologies. And I
Yeah.
found that super interesting because you don't hear about that very often at all. With Dogman, everybody's like, oh, they're evil. Then the Dwayo, though, it goes back, like I said, and you kind of go, oh, was it really an evil entity? Was it something that was bad, or was it viewed as a good thing?
Yeah, there is a strange duplicity that happens with, the werewolf or anything that looks like the werewolf. You've got the one side where it is evil, and it's this cannibalistic human who changes into this wolf, usually by wearing a belt or a pelt or something like that,
Right.
and either against their will or through a hex, or because that's what they wanted. They wanted the power to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Or then you've got, like you said, the flip side of it, where you have this almost like Beauty and the Beast. The good is cursed but good. Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of thing. So yeah, there's an odd duplicity that goes on with that story.
Yeah, and there's a lot of details that you hear about with the Dewayo that you kind of go, is that true though? Because there's a story, I forgot the man's name, but he allegedly had a standoff with a Dewayo. Okay, and so I read his story, and this thing ran at him on four legs, and it stood up on two. So he had this werewolf-like thing coming at him, and then just the fight just ended. So I was thinking to myself, what was he, like an MMA fighter? Was he more experienced in karate than Chuck Norris? He just walked away from a fight with a werewolf. What happened there? So there's a lot of loopholes in that story that I don't know, Robert. I have a hard time believing it.
Are you talking about the John Becker story from
Yes.
1965?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got it right in front of me. If you want me to read it, I can read it for you.